and everyone else's will go blah across the screen. So you can become a spectator, but you can also start playing other characters, supporting characters, and you can be antagonistic. In this game, in fact, not to spoil too much, but you will, if you want to, still be around just as an antagonist. So, yeah, death is not the end, as Wraith the Oblivion tells us. Is there one thing I'm going to do once we start recording in 3 minutes? I will go through line. Hello and welcome to They Came from Camp Murder Lake. We got there in the end after what seems like an eternity of audio issues, but it was in fact only by your count, viewers, 12 minutes. But we got there. We got there. We are all here. We can all now communicate with each other. And we can all hopefully play a wonderful game of slashing, stabbing, bludgeoning, and burning. That is They Came from Camp Murder Lake, but with comedy. And Camp Murder Lake is, as any of you should hopefully know, They Came From, that is set in the 1980s field of horror movies, most specifically slasher, but not exclusively so. And this game will hopefully show off some of the mechanics, some of the features, some of the antagonists, some of the things that you can do with this game. Hopefully it will be entertaining for you and entertaining for the players. Now, before we kick off entirely, we're going to do the responsible thing. This is, after all, a game that can deal with some horrific elements. So what I'm going to be able to do is ask for the players whose handles are all beneath their faces, so I'm not going to need them to introduce themselves, but I am going to ask them to name any lines, veils, barriers they don't want to cross. With me saying in advance, this game will not be handling sexual violence, it will not be handling bigotry, racial-based violence, it will not be handling violence against infants, but characters will be late teens, so if that enters your bracket of violence against children, we can certainly tone it down so it isn't explicit. Those are the main cornerstones of things we will not be handling in this horror comedy scenario. But I invite people now to either say things they don't want to handle, or if something comes up and they don't want to deal with it, just shout out X or stop, and I will know exactly to stop. And we'll quickly switch gears, or we'll stop, we'll talk about it, what have you. So is there anything anyone here doesn't want to talk about, play, etc.?
That covered most of my bases.
Yeah, exactly. Covered them all.
Yep. Good for me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, well, in that case, let's go through our characters, because while I have provided some character sheets to some of the players, I haven't to others, and the main thing is I don't know all of your characters' names, and that will help me out a great deal. So let's go through the list. I'm going to, and if you haven't thought about your character name at this point, well, there's no help for you coming. We're going to ask Scott first. Scott, tell us a little about your character, who is growing up in the small American town of Youngville.
Well, my character's name is Mickey Nagel. He is a stereotypical nerd. It is a horror fanatic who fantasizes about becoming a hero. So I imagine he has read a lot of horror comics, watched a lot of horror movies, read a lot of horror novels, and has envisioned himself in all of them, but is likely completely inept at actually doing anything in a stressful situation. He's obsessed with video games, he is building a video game, and really wants to get into that glamorous field that we all want to be in. Which he assumes everyone wants to be in, because well,
it's the late 80s, so it's a very different feel to how it is today. So you're building things for your Spectrum and playing in the arcade, but what a glorious time, those halcyon days. So how about we'll go to our first Chris, Mr. Jones. Who are you playing?
So I am Iggy Westwood, the wild child. He's a bit of a punk wannabe. He's probably a little bit older than some of the other ones because, well, maybe he's been expelled a few times. He's had to transfer and repeat a few years. He probably still hasn't graduated, but does mean he's over 21. Makes it, or at least looks it, makes him easier to buy things for everyone else. Makes him a little bit popular. But ultimately, he has a dream and he wants to be famous. His band, the Angry Ponies, it's just him at the moment, but it's still a band. He's got his guitar, can't play it, but he'll learn. Yeah, Angry Ponies, they're going to be big. You'll hear about them, just wait and see.
Yeah, well, you know, if the lead guitarist ends up dead in some horrible scenario, then what they're likely to hear about you.
No such thing as bad publicity.
No, that's true, that's true. And how about Kelly? Who is Kelly playing?
All right. You know what? Since nobody else went with a Corey, I'm going to be a Corey. To be Corey Adams. Corey Adams is a small town jock who specializes in karate. He believes that Bruce Lee is the one true god, and he wants to fight his way out of town one way or another.
Lovely. And just Claire. Claire, who are you playing as?
Victoria Hardley, who hardly has any idea what's going on and hardly has any kind of plan, but she's just out for a good time.
And that means we get last but by no means least to Chris Handley. Chris, who are you playing as?
I'm playing the foreign exchange student from deepest, darkest Herefordshire, UK, because that's where I personally grew up. So I thought, let's give me something I know quite well.
So yeah, you don't need to put on an accent.
No, I don't. So he's a Paul Merchant, and he's chafing at the point with the restrictions on drinking in the US, because obviously he's relatively easily able to get into pubs in the UK, but coming to the US, it's just like, this is awful. He knows his herbs. He knows how to medicate with herbs. By herbs, we mean, well,
the devil's lettuce.
Paprika.
The devil's lettuce.
Thyme.
Jazz cigarettes.
Oregano.
Well, we will also direct anyone watching this live can go over to the They Came From Beneath the Sea server on the Onyx Path Discord to see the cinematics we're playing with. Anyone who is aware of the more broad range of cinematics in They Came From should also know that players have access to any and all of them. I'm not restricting anyone, but those are the Camp Murder Lake ones we are pulling from in particular, for anyone who doesn't. Occasionally mechanics will pop up and you may not understand them. By all means, if that happens in the chat, do ask, how does this work? And we might break it down, or that might break the interfere with the flow of the game. We'll just say no. So let's get on with it. We're going to start with a prologue, a pre-credits sequence. We start, as I start almost all of my They Came From games, with a man in a shirt and tie running desperately through the rain, but this time through a shut-down amusement park. Thunder and lightning raging around him. He starts at the lightning and ducks inside a fun house. We can see from the camera panning up to the name above the fun house that while it says fun house now, a K has dropped off at some point. Once upon a time, this was called the Funk House. As he stumbles into the gloom, the power suddenly springs to life. All the lights and music of funk, lots of bow, 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 playing. James Brown mannequins moving, and along with other stellar artists of funk, soul, and Motown. It's like he's in a mirror maze comprised of some of the 1960s, 70s, and early 80s premier funk musicians. He starts at James Brown, but before he can focus on him, he starts barricading the door to the funk house, pushing an arcade machine up against it, picking up a red phone from the wall. Hello? Hello? Please, send help. Yes, I'm in there, but he's cut off. As behind him, a clown wearing a James Brown mask is striding up behind him, a rope made of flags of all nations in his hands, pulled out from his sleeve. The clown snakes the rope around the man's neck and hoists him high, forcing him to drop the phone and kick and choke, his feet lashing out fruitlessly. As the shirt and tie man struggles for breath, the clown backs away, and four small people in coats with their hoods up. Are they children? Are they little people? This is a horror movie. This could be exploitative. Surround him with brightly colored baseball bats and proceed to treat his body like a piñata as the blood flows down onto the screen. The title of the movie comes to life. This is Funk House of Horror, in brackets, Nowhere to Run. Not used with any license there, so it won't make it to the DVD release. We now move on. We don't know how long we move on, but we do move on to school. You are all students coming up to your last semester at Youngville High. Youngville is a small town, idyllic in many ways. If you want to picture the streets of Halloween or Elm Street, if you want to picture the summer light above you, all the promise of what may come once you leave these grey halls of Youngville High, that's what's going on here. We've got a bit of funk playing in the background as well, because for some reason this scenario has a funky theme. The revolution will not be televised is pumping in, so that it's more spoken word than music. There's a heavy bass back there. The moribund Principal James Hodgkiss is hosting your class because Mr. Lee didn't turn up. He's taking all of you through a very boring assignment, listening to some funk classics. This is, after all, Youngville, home of funk. Lee was supposed to be organizing for you the end of term semester trip to Funkland. But as he's not here, Hodgkiss has to do it instead. He doesn't seem terribly happy. He's been miserable for a very long time. He's saying, now, if you listen to these beats, children, most of you are 17 or 18, so the fact that he's calling you children at this point is quite inaccurate. You'll hear this version of Tainted Love clearly has a lot more heart, meaning, and melody behind it than the, shall we say, avant-garde version that has recently made its way into the charts. He can see none of you are interested in this lesson. You want to get out of here. You're approaching the last day of school, damn it. This is just a fruitless exercise. So, I'm sorry, are you bored, Nagel?
Yes, sir.
I am, sir.
You're bored as well? Adams, isn't it?
Westwood.
Yeah, I'm bored as funk.
Oh, good one.
Well, that's very funny. Just because you have reached the grand old age of 18 doesn't mean that I can't keep you back behind class or deny your visit to Funkland. You know that the coach is supposed to be leaving the school at 8 p.m. tonight. This is what your class voted on for what you wanted to do for your last trip of school. We could have gone to a brewery. We could have gone camping at the lakes. Hell, but Funkland, that amusement park that holds so many horrible memories for me, is where you wanted to go. Sometimes I wonder if you chose it just to rattle me.
Yes.
So I think people mostly chose it because they didn't read it as Funkland.
Ah.
Yeah, the end was kind of droopy.
Your bedtime.
Well, I suspect these smiles, this mirth will be off your faces by the time you're done there. I have to say, and he turns off the music just as it comes to an end. I have to say, I've never been so disappointed by a class. What Mr. Lee has seen in you, he's recommended you, many of you, for your musical talents, for your ear, for song, for the funk, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it one bit. Frankly, I'm amazed that you're graduating at all. But what am I? I'm just a principal of a high school, down on his luck, living in the past. He stares into his fist.
Are we supposed to feel sorry for you?
Well, that kind of attitude is I would actually, he narrows his eyes, I would expect it from someone like you, Westwood. You know, it's the word has gone around that you cheated on your exams, and if I find out, I can write to the examination board and you'll be held back for another year. How old will that put you at? 28 before graduation?
But I lost count at 14.
Again, not that surprising. Anyhow, I expect all of you to congregate
Do what you
outside.
want to do. I don't care. I'm off to Funkland.
Wait, are we going to Funkland?
You are still in my class, young man. No language like that. I can turn into an English school teacher if I want to, and I will use the language of the English school teachers. Now, you are to congregate here at 8 p.m. to get on the coach, where we will be driving you to Funkland, where we have hired, based on your parents' generous contributions, some of them, the amusement park for the night, where the rest of the general public won't be present. You and Class B will all be attending, and I expect you to be on your best behavior. 8 p.m. sharp. The coach will leave without you if you are not there. Bring your camping gear, otherwise you'll be sleeping out in the cold, and I can't be responsible for what happens to you, except he knows that he will be.
Nagel will be raising his hand.
Yes, what is it, Nagel?
We call them buses in America, sir.
What did he say?
Detention! After you get back from Funkland, you will be spending 3 hours writing "A coach is a bus" 100 times. I don't need your pedantry, Nagel. Just because you're the only one here who got an A in anything.
Look, I'm just saying, 8-bit music is the future. We don't need music instruments. We just need, synthesized sounds.
Well, I'm not a music teacher, so what would I know? I'm just the principal of a school. At which point he bursts into tears and walks out. Which strikes most of you as odd. Now,
get out of this town.
At this point, would any of you like to do? We'll go for a culture plus intellect roll. The first person who volunteers gets to do it.
I have no culture or intellect, so I think.
Which is a remarkable for a musician that you've got no culture skills.
It is the
I got
80s.
humanities.
You could use humanities, I guess. Humanities will work.
No, I'm happy to do with my single dice and culture.
Well, I hope that wasn't a D20 you were holding up.
Failure.
Oh dear. You have no idea why Hodgkiss burst into tears. You've got no real read on human emotion, quite frankly, let alone why a principal would burst into tears in front of his class. Very humiliating for him, you must imagine.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Feel so sad for him.
Yeah, well, clearly it's coming. Yes, it's coming across in all of your roleplay. And so you're left alone in the classroom until the bell rings. Class is out of session. Yes, there's another week where you're supposed to wrap up things, but this was the only time you could get to go to Funkland overnight, and so you've got this trip over the weekend early. So before you can, it's a case of heading out or heading back home or getting ready to go. As you're parting ways, not all of you are friends with each other, of course, given your archetypes. We have a nerd, a joker, a jock, a wild child, an innocent. Roxy Boudreaux also held back. Spits some wet paper onto the back of Nagel's head through a pen.
Not cool. Not cool.
That was a pretty good shot. Yeah.
Nagel, there's a lot of swamps around Funkland. It'd be a shame if you got lost in one of them.
Well, I'm prepared. I have my rain boots. I've got everything that I need for a night in the woods. I'm well prepared.
What, you brought a map of the swamps?
Yeah.
Such a swamp.
What is?
What's a-
Well,
such
yeah.
a
How else are you
nerd?
going to find whatchamacallum's mother?
Oh. At least the swamp gas might make Nagel smell a bit better.
I got it from the U.S. Geological Survey. I got it all, the coordinates all mapped out. We are good to go. None of this getting lost bullshit. If you get lost, you're dead. I know that.
No, it just means you get to have a bit more fun. Getting lost is
Yeah, it's fun.
part of the process.
Yeah, it's only about 20 miles away. How lost can you get?
Yeah, there's a road right next to it. What's the problem?
Look, there. I just know you're going out into the woods at night. There are rules to these things. That's how they get you.
Nagel, you're never going to be a hero.
Who's they? They
Yeah,
get you
like
like what? The
them?
commies? Like, come on, man.
It might be the commies, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, I'm sure that there are a bunch of Russians at Funkland.
Look, communism hates funk.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Communism does hate funk.
Hey, Westwood, let us come out, class. I've got something for you.
Okay. Yeah.
She opens her bag. Iggy, look at this. She's got some bottles. Hooch, made at home. I can't take it back because my dad's home right now. I don't want him to hear him clinking. I was wondering if you could look after them.
Just smuggle them in, huh?
Yeah, we'll just make this a weekend a little more interesting.
Well, I've got a little bit of something of my own I'll be bringing along as well. So I think between the two of us, we can really spice things up. It's going to be crazy.
I like the
Bit of
sound
anarchy,
of that.
love it.
I want to see what happens when people like Nagel and Merchant get a bit tipsy, maybe a bit dosed.
What about Hotchkiss? I mean, why in low?
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine him if he was absolutely wasted? He was just crying. What else could happen?
Well, you know why that is, don't you?
No.
It's Funkland. That's where his kid died 3 or 4 years back.
Oh. What? Did they like fall off a ride or something?
The flashback comes to you. It's an old advert for a roller coaster called the Devastator. The world's most terrifying roller coaster, the Devastator, a heart-stopping 200 miles per hour, 15-story drops, spine-cracking 90-degree turns, and the final plunge, 2 minutes underwater. The Devastator. Somehow, she says, his son died on that ride, along with 3 other kids from the school. I'm frankly amazed that he's taking us back there, but maybe he's got over it. I don't know. But yeah, he needs to loosen up. Maybe if we slip him a dram, as they say.
I think this could be good for him. Confront his fears and learn to accept it. I mean,
the spectre of his dead son.
It's tragic, but we can give him some fun.
I don't know. If I was his son, I'd probably want to throw myself off a roller coaster.
Yeah, me too, actually. Twice.
Or drown on a roller. I can't remember how his son bit it, but yeah, there was a big thing back then. Maybe you weren't around here. I don't know.
Before my time, I was somewhere else. I think that was when I accidentally set that school on fire. That would be about 3 or 4 years ago.
No, that was this school. But I'll forgive you for forgetting. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Look after this bag. I'll catch you on the coach, and then we can start making this trip a little more fun.
Perfect. Yeah, a little secret.
So as each of you start parting ways, going to your homes, picking up your bags, your supplies. Victoria.
Yes.
Home life hasn't been easy lately. Ever since your dad disappeared. And, well, Mum certainly is a troubled soul. But luckily, On one level, luckily, your stepfather has very much stepped into the breach, living up to his name. He's always there, standing in the doorway, saying, it doesn't seem to recognize that your interests aren't his interests, but as you go up to your room to load up your bag with supplies, he's there, baseball catcher's mitt in one hand, baseball in the other. Hey, champ, he says. He strokes his big mustache. Hey, champ, I was wondering if you wanted to go out to the yard, toss around the old pigskin, he says, while fondling the baseball. He then moves over and sits on the edge of your bed without invitation. Listen, kid, I've been trying to connect with you. I really have. I just want you to see me as your pa. That's all. And your mother, God, I love her, but she's a troubled soul, and I think I can be a real stabilizing influence in your life ever since your dad disappeared.
He didn't disappear. He's gonna come back. He will be coming back any day now.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow, tonight.
Yeah.
You what?
I'm sure, and if he steps in and everyone wants to reset to where they were before I came along, I'll just pack my bags, put my hat on my head, and keep on walking. And I know when I'm not wanted, but...
No, you don't.
Maybe someday you might come to see me as your pop.
You'll never be my real pop.
He gets up, looks sad with it, stands in the doorway for a couple of seconds too long, looking over his shoulder, nods, and walks off. Tell us, why do you not like your stepdad, Terry?
It's always a guy named Terry. Damn it, sorry.
Well, he just insists on ketchup on everything. And it's always about barbecuing and grilling and
Yes.
just once, I would like a nice pasta dish. That's all. There's no need for ketchup and mustard and fries with everything. Just one night a week. And Alfredo. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Yeah, maybe that Terry isn't the guy for that. He seems more interested in getting you to help him fix up the car. You can't count the number of times he's been underneath it, just his legs hanging out the edge, and say, hey, can you pass me the lug wrench?
Just throw random things at him.
And you just walk on by. Poor Terry. But also, poor Victoria. Her father's missing. Her mother took it hard. Still, this trip to Funkland, it might be a good opportunity a booster to send you on your way where you need to get going. Maybe
I'll just nick everyone's beers and sell them back.
I think that's equally as likely. Meanwhile, we also have Iggy Westwood. You get back to the trailer where your mum is already deep in her bottles. Well, did you bring anything for me?
I wrote you a song.
If you've not got any booze, then get the fuck out. Where are you supposed to be going this weekend anyway?
The fuck's it to you?
I'm your mother. I deserve to know these things. I raised you.
The word you are has got mother in it, but isn't that one?
You get out right now. And she tries to climb to her feet and chase you off. But she
run around the
stumbles.
room.
Your dad's around. He's just out back. If he sees you here, he's going to give you such a hiding. And I told him that you were held back another year. He was ashamed. He's told all of his friends down at the bar.
What? All one of them?
They both got out of prison at the same time.
They did the same crime. But his friends aren't allowed within 100 feet of me anyway, so I don't care.
Always got an answer, haven't you? Always got something to bite back with. There's a reason your principal, nice man, Mr. Hodgkiss, he's always looked out for you and you've done nothing but spit in his face.
Just kiss my ass.
Get out, get your bag and go. I don't want to see you. You're an embarrassment to me.
Grab my guitar. You're going to regret this. When I'm big, you get none of my royalties. Nothing. What's that over there? Grab the booze. Yoink.
I won't make you roll for that. And off you go with the booze. And now, despite your plucky demeanor, your aggressive self, there's still a part of you that, of course, this deeply hurts. This is supposed to be your mother. She's supposed to be proud of you. She's supposed to love you. But instead, all you get is venom.
Yeah, well, good inspiration for my music. Angry Ponies.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah, everyone loves a rocker with mum issues.
Yeah, I'm just going to take that trauma and I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, it isn't so terrible for all of you. Nagel.
Yeah.
You're at after-school AV club before you need to go home with your fellow geek, Derek, taking notes on the A-team and Cagney and Lacey for your last report. It's utterly unnecessary. It's for a school journal. But he takes it very seriously. I'm going to miss you.
Oh, it's okay. I've got my Polaroid. I'll take plenty of pictures of all the cool stuff there. I think it'll be a fun time. You know, maybe change my image amongst the more popular kids. Show them how competent I am.
Well, yeah, I mean, my parents just wouldn't let me go. They said, Funkland, there's a lot of bad stuff happens there. Apparently people die there every year and they still keep it open.
You know what? It's kind of a statistical anomaly how many people have died there. I did the statistics. But you know what? I think, as long as I attend to the holy scriptures of, Carpenter and
oh, thank God.
No, none of that. God is dead. All the horror movies and the novels. I think I can navigate myself around any kind of monster situation, because that's real.
Well, I don't know. I think there must be an escaped serial killer around there or something.
Yeah.
But the goths from the grunge pit, they said they're going to be out there performing some Satanist ceremony over the weekend. My parents caught wind of that. They're not letting me go.
Cool.
So
if I can see that, I might be able to incorporate that into the game, man.
You need to be careful. You're my friend. I don't want anything bad happening to you, Mickey.
Oh, everything's gonna be fine. It's just an old broken down amusement park. There's nothing bad's gonna happen there.
Yeah, well, it's not all a video game, Mickey. Sometimes the bad things do happen to good people.
Well, you just got to keep your head about you. I'm smarter than any of these morons. I'll make it out just fine.
Yeah, well, if you say so. All right. Let's go to the home of Corey.
Okay.
Where you are doing some karate practice before your big trip.
Breaking the boards of my old treehouse. Just
Well, I'll never need this place again.
Never. I won't be moving back here in my 30s.
Your younger siblings are looking up tears in their eyes. No treehouse for us then, I guess.
What?
Your best friend Tatiana knocks on the side of the tree. Corey,
What's up, Tats?
come down here. I don't want to say this in front of the kids.
Fine. I'll jump. It's like a 2-foot tall treehouse. It's
That is so dope. But that listen.
yeah. I'm listening. What's up?
This trip to Funkland that we're going on,
Uh-huh.
this is your chance to get laid. You're always so uptight. Listen, I've hooked you up.
Was bad for the legs, though.
I'm sure you can do double the exercises after if your legs hurt. I'm just saying, I found there's a nice guy who really likes you. And he's really into you. I think I remember you once saying that you really liked him. And it's a chance to blow off some steam. You're always wound up so tight in that black belt of yours. It's a time to let your hair down and have some fun in Funky Town.
Are you sure?
Yeah. His name's Ernest Brown. He's not in our class. He's a couple of classes over.
Brown.
Yeah. You've seen him before. He used to do judo, which you always look down on. But he's big guy.
Yeah.
And I think he likes you, and I'm happy to play matchmaker. It's just you're 18. I think it's time
to move on to the next stage of my training. Yeah.
If you want, if that's how you see it, I think it could make you grow up a little.
I'm pretty grown up. Like, what? No.
You're still playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in your backyard. It's time to get a boyfriend and get out there. Youngville is only a very small part of the world. We're only about 2 hours away from New Orleans. You could be there living up your best life in the French Quarter. And instead, you're still smashing up your treehouse like you were 10 years ago when I used to come here and we played with dolls. So...
Okay, yeah, fair.
I'm just saying Ernest might open a door for you.
What do I wear?
Actually, that's a pretty good question.
Yeah. Because if it was Corey's wearing like a karate gi right now. So it's like
that. Those are your casuals, I think, at this point.
It's like more like my business casuals, but yeah. We got to go to the mall.
We don't have time for that. Come in your gi. If you...
I was like, that's the goal, but okay.
Wear your gi. Wear your gi,
okay.
Because, it'll make you stand out, if nothing else. And you're comfortable in it. You'll be yourself. And I think that's what you need to be. Don't try to be someone else.
Okay. You're sure about this? Like, he seems like a good guy?
Oh, yeah, he's had lots of boyfriends.
That's good, right?
Well, yeah, it means you can trust yourself with him.
Okay, yeah. I just thought that maybe, yeah. Yeah, it's good to go with someone who's had lots of opponents, because that means that because then, okay. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, high five.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to chop it.
All right, I'll see you on the coach, but I think we're gonna have a good weekend.
Is the coach coming on the bus with us?
Oh, piss off.
Sorry.
And Tats walks off feeling like, yes, I may finally get Corey to come out of his shell. So anyway, before anyone else takes what I say out of context, Paul Merchant, you've always been a fish out of water in Youngville. After all, with your broad Herefordshire accent, unlike all of the other English speakers here, the only person you've ever really felt you could relate to was Hodgkiss with his British background. There was all constant references to coaches and pavements and taps and sinks, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he eats Snickers, doesn't he? Eats, he eats marathon bars.
He does for breakfast, but he can never finish a whole one. And he comes back in. He's clearly tidying himself up a little and is stacking up his paperwork. And he sees you're still there. Is there
got headphones on, ominously playing "A View to a Kill" by Duran Duran?
Very good. He mouths something at you, but you don't hear over the melodic tunes of Simon Le Bon.
What?
Thank you. What are you still doing here? Class is over. You need to get ready for your trip.
I'm already packed.
He comes over and sits on the edge of your desk in an overly familiar way. Listen, I know you're not like the rest of them. You're like me.
I'm not like you.
You will be. And...
True horror.
Don't you have some place to go? Don't you have friends? What about the family you're staying with?
Well, you know, there's only so much meatloaf you can eat, right?
Oh, I know. I hear that. He says, "Oh my God, you just related to him."
Yeah. So, Funkland sounds fun.
It's Crucible, I suppose, for me.
He seemed upset.
It's difficult for me to go back to where my son passed.
Shit.
Yeah. They should never have allowed that roller coaster to be open. I sued their pants off, I can tell you that, but it didn't bring my son back. Not that I thought it would. You know, those angles on that roller coaster, the Devastator. They shouldn't be building roller coasters with 90-degree turns when you're traveling at 200 miles per hour. It seems reckless. But what do I know? I'm not an architect. Sorry, yeah. I'm rambling. You don't want to hear all of this. Listen, this was years ago, and the tragedy shouldn't affect you from having a good time.
Yeah, I'll have a good time. And Paul obviously is making sure that he stuffs further down his coat pocket a bag, an Henry, ready for later. But he is going to skin up a cigarette ready to go outside. You don't smoke, do you?
Yes. Why? Are you offering?
Here, have it.
Detention! You should be. I'm just kidding. I'm pulling your leg. Yeah, I'll take one of those. Like I said, you're a good kid.
I'm going to actually use that as an opening with empathy to get a bit more information out about the death of his son. And
okay, go for an empathy and I think manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I mean, if I had some cigarellos, it'd be like, what's the classic cigarello advert where it should start playing?
Hamlet.
That's the one.
Yeah, air on a G-string.
There we go. 1 success.
1 success. Okay. Well, you don't get any enhancements with it, but that's absolutely fine. 1 success is enough. He over a couple of cigarettes, the two of you talk about the incident, and he explains how, it was a trip much like this one. This school has got a deal going on with Funkland, or did before my time, that we would send off a couple of classes there every year. Good publicity, they said. Then they installed this roller coaster, totally inappropriate for a musical-themed amusement park. But again, what do I know? My son, Andy, he was so excited. He said, "I want to ride the Devastator, Dad." And I said, "Well, I hear it's a dangerous ride, son," but he wouldn't hear. He went on there, 3 of his classmates. Did you know it spends 2 minutes underwater?
Hold on. The carriage goes underwater.
That's right, although that's not what got him. By the time they got him off, his head had almost been completely twisted round. I can scarcely hold myself together to think about it, let alone recount it. But this tobacco helps. Is this just tobacco?
It's just tobacco.
I don't know. I've been standing outside the park whenever I've had a free weekend with a sign that says "Don't come in here," and words to that effect. Doesn't seem to do any good. Eventually, I just resigned myself to the fact that not only am I not going to stop all these enthusiasts for funk from visiting Funkland, I'm also working at a school that's partnered with Funkland. Really, yeah, I made some bad choices. But still, as I said, don't let that stop you from having a good time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun. I mean, maybe I might get to know some of the others a bit better. Maybe.
You don't need to. You're all graduating. You never speak to each other again.
Yeah, but what if I want to stay here? Like, what? You must stay here for some reason.
Meatloaf. He slaps his thigh, gives you a gentle fist to the face, and says, "You're all right. You're all right. Maybe we'll get to ride on the Devastator together."
Yeah, maybe I'll skip that one.
And now we will jump ahead to 8 p.m. You are queuing up outside the bus on the way to Funkland. Your regular bus driver, Bert German, is sat in the seat. "I'm gonna miss you, kids," he says, throwing his cigarette out the window.
It's all right. I'll probably be back next year.
I'm not gonna miss you, Iggy. I think I've seen you more than I see my own kid.
Well, we do run real fast across the road, so yeah, you do keep missing us.
That's why they call you the class clown, right? Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a career in that for you.
Let's hope.
Bus driver, maybe?
Oh, no. Why would you do that to me?
Hey, I was like you. Get on in. It's a short ride. I'll make it as smooth as possible. You're accompanied in terms of teaching staff by Hodgkiss and Mrs. McAleese, a chemistry teacher. You need some adult supervision. As the bus is pulling away, Victoria, you see your stepdad running up to the side of the bus. He's holding a bag in one hand. You think it might be packed lunch or something. He's pointing at you. The bus isn't slowing down. You're not asking the bus to slow down.
Speed up.
No hot dogs.
And you leave Terry stepdad in the dust.
You know, it's all right to abandon your parents. Just leave.
It could have been. It could have been. He might have done it. Oh, we'll never know. Okay. But stop the bus!
What?
Stop the bus!
Ah,
Okay, let's run out and run back. What?
he looks elated that you actually stopped. I made these. I made these for you and your classmates. I thought you might be hungry.
Yeah,
You know,
we probably will at some point. Yes.
Well, I fired up the grill, and and so there you've got some chops and some burgers in there.
Did you put ketchup in? Did you remember to put the ketchup in?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it needs to, otherwise it's too dry.
Yeah.
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 Just like you like.
I just walk away, carrying my hot dogs and my burgers, and just keep walking. They'll be, I don't know. I'm gonna throw them at someone, maybe.
Well,
It's
Victoria's outside of the bus. But how much will it take for you to start the bus up again?
And see, oh, that's all right. I'll do it for free. And he plays the fun but dangerous game of, as you approach the door, he moves forward and then he stops, and then he moves forward, and then just before you fall underneath the wheels, he stops and says, "Get on, come on."
All right, yeah, good one. Good
Yeah,
one.
I knew you could take a joke.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's why I love being a bus driver.
There is a future in it for me afterwards.
And off goes the bus to Funkland, funky Funkland, as we fade to black. And by the time we get to Funkland, it is early evening. Well, it's late evening, in fact, but it's the sun is going down. And to your surprise, certainly to Hodgkiss's surprise, none of the lights are on at Funkland. He says, "This isn't right." The bus pulls up. "Okay, kids. You need to, there's campsite A, campsite B. You," and he points at you lot along with some others. "You're on campsite A, you," and he points at the other half of the bus. "Campsite B on the other side of the park. You need to start setting up your tents, getting your sleeping bags out, you know, doing all of that. You know how. You're old enough. You're practically adults. I'm going to go with Mrs. Mackley's. We're going to see if we can find someone because the park's supposed to be open for us tonight. Without general public. So we'll see you. We'll be back soon. No misbehaving. And don't go too far. This place is surrounded by swamps." Why they built a theme park here, I do not know, he says, muttering to himself.
You build a theme park in a swamp.
At any moment, and sink into the swamp.
Yeah. Second one burned down, fell over and sank into the swamp. Obligatory Monty Python references. You get what you pay for.
I probably didn't have enough time to grab a sleeping bag, a tent. I mean, I've not bothered about a change of clothes. Obviously, I've got a guitar, but that's not much protection from the elements. The booze will keep me warm. Is there any chance I can take somebody else's luggage? Potentially Hodgkiss's?
Yeah, definitely. He's left his bag on the bus.
He's distracted.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that's irritating to you, Iggy, is Roxy doesn't appear to have made it onto the bus. So you've got her booze, but you don't have your drinking partner.
On the plus side, Roxy hasn't made it onto the bus.
Yes.
Always thinking.
Yeah.
So
This is where you'll get ahead in life, Iggy. One day. And so you set to the task, dull and meandering as it is, of setting up a campsite in between bullying of each other, jokes and pranks being pulled.
Stop it, I'm trying to pitch a tent.
Yeah,
Ernest waves at you from.
Nagel is in the process of putting up a
It got a lot
ridiculously
easier.
large like pavilion tent that he's expecting everyone to be like the cool hangout place because it's so big. But he is just totally inept at like the physical process of getting it put together.
Well, let's play with some mechanics at this point. Remember, you've got quips, and remember they don't have to be appropriate; they just have to be entertaining. Nagel, could you make we'll go for technology or survival. You can choose, and we'll go for dexterity.
Okay. All right, that's not a terrible roll. I'll do tech plus dexterity. Let me bring up my handy Onyx dice roller.
Yes, that you can purchase on the Android store.
Yes. That would be a botch.
A botch. Okay, in that case, not only does the pavilion tent that you've somehow packed fall to pieces, you also rip a massive gash from its tip to its tail. It is no longer functional as a tent.
God
The
dang it!
The other kids can't help but notice this.
Massive gash.
Does anybody have any duct tape or anything?
Wear it like a poncho. It'll be no problem. No
But
problem.
I have a poncho.
So now you've got two. You're just extra lucky.
If you've got a poncho, you don't need this. And I'm just thinking, it's going to get cold later. We're going to need something to burn.
But this...
Never mind, it's made of canvas.
Yeah. But this cost what seems like a totally reasonable amount of money in the 2000s, but a ridiculous amount of money in the 80s.
$49.99.
$49.99.
Was it your money or was it your parents' money? If so, I say we burn it.
Or we could fix it.
don't-
Like, seriously, does anybody have any duct tape or anything? We can just, like...
I don't know,
Or we-
probably.
or we can
sounds
burn it,
like something I would have about my person.
Actually, that's true. As a joker, you may well do. Let's see if anyone here can come up with inappropriate use of a quip. I'd say, yeah, you can have duct tape. Now everyone studies their sheets to see if there's any way of fitting them.
It'll be fun.
I actually have a trope that would be effective for this.
Ooh.
I have "you mean this," which gives me the perfect item at an opportune moment.
If you want to help.
Yeah,
You only get to use this once in the scenario.
Yeah, exactly. There's a rub. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. One more drink and then we'll go. That's backwards, I think. That's one of my quips.
That's two quips, I think, in that case between you, yeah. There's a nice musical montage bit, a bit of funk playing, yep, as everyone is pitching in together to help Nagel, who they've never helped before, set up his pavilion tent as if for a wedding. Certainly it's large enough. And there's a sense of it's all right as all of you can high five and feel good about yourselves. Yeah, you're adults now. You're no longer at school. You can work on a tent together.
Beautiful.
Nice
Never made
place you
anything
got here.
before.
Well, never.
You never what?
Never
Never
made
made
anything
anything.
before.
Oh,
Like not even an omelette.
especially not an omelet.
Oh my god.
No? What's an omelette? Sounds foreign.
It's like a small
Foreign. Crying out loud.
Look,
At which point,
I live on
the,
Pop-Tarts.
at which point the music and lights of Funkland suddenly spring to life with all of the array of the glittering colors of funk the theme park suddenly looks very inviting compared to your dark, soggy campsite.
All right.
Yeah. This is what we signed up for.
Tatiana says, well, I guess Hodgkiss must have found the maintenance guy.
I guess so.
Poor maintenance guy.
So what time did you arrange this? Like, what time am I supposed to talk to Ernest?
Just as soon, walk around with him, get to know him. When you get someplace alone, where maybe it's in your tent later, maybe it's somewhere in the theme park. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this.
I know. No, it's okay. It's okay. He's very easygoing.
Okay.
I'll introduce you once we get in.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. And so who here is heading into Funkland and who is remaining at the campsite?
Yeah,
I'm going to
go.
Funkland.
Funkland.
This is the whole
Funkland
reason
all the
we're
way.
here.
Sounds like everyone's heading to Funkland. Funky Town Central. Funkland is an unusual amusement park, not just by its definition, but from its appearance as well. It is not just a celebration of all things funk, but with it, it is a bona fide amusement park. It has roller coasters, it has rides, it has fun houses. It's a cross between a carnival, a funk museum, and an actual Six Flags. So there's a lot to see and do. There's a lot of rides to go on, and it has all of the odors, sounds, and ambience of a place you might normally go to, except for the incessant playing of funk that you can't get away from. It's coming out of every single speaker. Get Down on It is playing as you're walking through the gates. No sign of your teachers, mind you.
Oh no. That's
Oh darn.
such a shame.
Yeah. But it seems most of the rides here are automated. So, yeah, you're able to have a good time and get to playing. Is there anything in particular any of your characters want to do as you're wandering around Funkland? You volunteer.
There's got to be one of those, the stalls with the spraying the water into the clown's mouth type games.
Absolutely, yes.
But is it like James Brown instead?
Yeah, it's like
is
George.
it-
It's like a giant George Carlin.
No,
Or
this
Prince.
is the face of legendary Motown bassist James Jameson, who is there, mouth open, and you're able to inflate a balloon, and when you do so, you get a nice bit of downbeat. It's not the most satisfying of amusement park rides, but you're not in this to win teddy bears and balloons. You're just messing about, spraying each other with the water as much as you are the games themselves. Give it a go. If you want to play the Phil James Jameson's mouth, you can roll cunning. Let's think. Aim and cunning.
That's one success.
One success. You do win a water balloon. It pops off into your hand.
Water balloons for me as well.
I get 3 successes.
Wow. Okay, that means ding, 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 or bow, 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 bow. And you win an inflatable guitar bass.
Nice, and he just starts like blowing it up right there and there. Pathetic.
There's no one working here. I mean, there's a lot that's on the honor system in this place. You're not seeing any staff. It's just the kids from the school, all about 30, 40 of you from across your 2 classes running wild in this place. Some are already leaping onto the rides. You can see up there rides like Super Freakasaurus and the Syncopation Staircase. which is about as fun as it sounds. There's also a shopping district, fashion, funk fashions, Papa's brand new bags. It's all kinds of wonderful funk themed attractions.
What's there must be a ghost house type thing. What's that like?
There is. That is simply called the Funk House.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that sounds like a good place to go to skin up an actual spliff away from everyone.
It's next door to the unofficial James Brown Museum. The word unofficial is right there in the title, so clearly James Brown has been litigious before now.
I got a question for Nagel.
Yeah.
So, you're good with like technology and audios and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. I've got like a nice little like bank of synthesizers and a Moog setup at home on my IBM.
Right. Good. That was some words. I've got my Walkman here, and I've got some Dead Kennedys on it. And I think it'd be really cool if we could maybe plug this into the sound system and replace some of this kind of crappy funk. I mean, look, no one here likes it, right? You with me? You get it?
I don't mind funk. I mean, it's okay, but yeah, the dead Kens. Yeah, sure. I like the dead Kens.
Who here doesn't like Nazi punks? Fuck off. Everyone would love you for it.
Yeah, sure. Give it to me. I'll try and find the sound system, and we'll play some punk.
Yeah, bring it on. There you go.
Right,
Okay. Nagel, you go looking for the sound system. You think it's going to be pretty easy to find. Could I ask for a technology and intellect roll?
Sure thing. Just one success.
That's fine. You're able to find the workman's office where you'd be able to plug these things in. The door is locked, however.
Uh-oh.
It's a glass window separating you from potential glory in front of your classmates.
I'm happy to escort him.
Yeah, I will make an incredibly pathetic attempt to like Jimmy the lock, and then just kind of like look sheepish. I do not succeed.
Oh, okay. Remember, you can use quips. You can use quips to get additional dice. So be sure to do
I think
that.
it's funnier that I'm just totally inept at
it. All right. Well, in that case, you accept the failure. So the number of rewrites has gone up. That we've now got 5 rewrites available. So don't forget your cinematics. Mm-hmm. So if Iggy has accompanied you, are you just going to smash through the door, Iggy? What's the plan?
I mean, I could pick the lock. I'm actually pretty good at that, but I'm wearing a leather jacket, so I'll just put my elbow through the glass.
Okay, no roll required. I say that. Make an athletics and dex roll just to make sure you don't get your artery severed on a botch.
First death of the session.
It's not really a horror film. It's more a public safety announcement.
Remember, kids.
Yes.
I got one success.
One success. Okay. Yeah, you shatter the plate glass, but luckily none of it cuts through you. Okay, you're in business. The sound system's there.
All right, I will look for the aux cord.
All right, is Iggy sticking around to watch all this boring tech work, or are you departing the scene of the crime?
No, I've got standards. I'm going to stand watch. I'm not going to watch him. I'm looking for something else.
Okay, well, it's a small office. There's only one way in, one way out. And again, Nagel, this is your chance to shine. At this point, I'm going to ask for another roll from you. Again, remember, you can use a quip if you really want to increase your chances of successes. I would recommend it. This is a big opportunity for you. Go for a cunning and technology roll, please.
Okay, I will use my quip of I touched one once.
Speaking about a soundboard.
Yeah, absolutely. I've explored a soundboard back and front.
Yeah, suddenly, Iggy, you're wondering if Nagel isn't as qualified as he advertised. But yeah, add a die to your pool, please.
All righty. Rolling 7 dice.
Ooh.
7 dice. How can it go wrong?
3 successes.
3 successes. Wow. Okay. With 3 successes, not only are you able to succeed, if you want, you can buy some enhancements that go with it. It's not just going to come through the main speakers in the park. It's also going to come through all the interior speakers in all of the attractions, if you want.
Absolutely, I want that to happen.
Okay. So, Iggy, tell us what music you've set the nerd up with. Because at this point, you could be very unkind.
No, I'm an audiophile. I mean, maybe not the same as everybody else, but no, it's a homemade mixtape. So yeah, it does start with 1.5 minutes of the Dead Kennedys, Nazi Punks Fuck Off. And then another 1.5 minutes of Nazi Punks Fuck Off. You know, I like the song. It's quite short. But then we're going to go to the Bones. Definitely a bit of Clash, maybe a bit of Dead Kennedys again. It's only 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. All right, so that's the playlist as it starts up. And all of a sudden it's blaring. It's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, blasting through Funky Town, Funkland, and people are looking up at the speakers thinking, oh, that must be Iggy. No one's thinking, oh, that must be Nagel.
Welcome to Punkland.
Yeah. And, you know, people are starting to rock out. This is it. This is more fun than listening to funk. That's for damn sure. As everyone's enjoying themselves, Nagel, you, of course, feel a swell of pride. What you also feel is a cold breeze wash over your face. Despite the fact you're in this office, it's like something cold and slippery snaking down your front. But we'll get back to you and describe that a little more very shortly. Mr. Handley.
Yeah.
You were lighting up a doobie, I think,
yes.
of the Doobie Brothers in the Funk House.
Yes.
Are you inviting anyone else to light
anyone
up?
else that wants to join along? And I'm sure they will be shocked as he is lighting up a big doobie.
What do you think? Is this the kind of thing Victoria would be into?
Quite possibly. Definitely. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I will put the two of you together then, if I may. That you enter the Funk House, which is a frankly Lynchian display of funk artists, mirrors, bizarrely painted floors and walls. It's not the kind of thing that's going to help your high, but nevertheless, it is somewhere private. And so, yeah, you can both light up together.
Awesome.
Excellent. I will pass over a spliff and let the fun
magic
begin.
Has Victoria ever smoked pot before, or is this a first time? Probably
not.
No, probably not. Okay, so
Probably never.
maybe Victoria's expectations with this would be a mind-blowing experience, take her to another level. Nah.
Yeah, she's seen all the Dare videos, so you know she's expecting big things of this.
Yes, you might get addicted to a cannabis, but as it is, it's a happy little buzz. Could I ask you to make an integrity and stamina roll, please? But remember, you can use a quip.
Hold on. Integrity 0 and stamina. Oh, you jerk. That'll be a 1.
You rolled a 1.
I rolled a 1.
Oh no!
Wow, awesome.
What's the worst possible outcome of someone smoking pot for the first time? Probably
asthma attack.
She instantly
Just
turns into
escalates
a
real
Curling,
quick.
total whiteout.
Yeah, probably feeling at least nauseous, but also very disorientated, not helped by the fact that you're in this hall of mirrors, walking through it with your British chum, whose accent seems increasingly distorted by the dead Kennedys that's blaring through you. What also doesn't help you, Victoria, and you see it before Paul does, is there's a pair of feet hanging from the ceiling at one point. There's like a empty ceiling tile, it's absent, and there's a pair of feet hanging there. Something's dripping off them, but as you're looking at them and everything's swirling, it's fuzzy around the edges, you are suddenly struck with horror, with absolute revulsion. You don't know what it is you're looking at, but it is not giving you a good high at all.
Paul will lean in, looking at Victoria with her, whited out. Her eyes are mostly quite bloodshot. It's like, you look like you've got the devil's eyes, which is one of my quips. You all right?
Well, tell him to take them back. I don't want them. What? Do you see that? Do you see that up there? That thing?
You might... Look, some people get a bit paranoid on it. Just sit back, relax. Look, this music isn't helping. I get my headphones off and it's just playing Ultravox Vienna and just put it over her ears.
God, no, it's just making it worse.
Dun, 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 dun. Midge sings harmonies to you, moves them through your headphones. Slipped in the cold air. Dun, 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 ta, ta.
Deserve this.
It's and then it's the Pet Shop Boys. What have I done to deserve this?
Shame you put some Kate Bush on, then you're going to be singing a little bit higher. Come on.
It doesn't help your stomach much. By way of health, essentially, you would be able to strike an entire line, a level out of your health at this point. What that means is you actually gain additional dice to any skills that have A next to them. Basically, they came from the weaker you get, the stronger you get, because it's a movie. So as you're there swaying, having to lean on Paul, mid-year droning in your ears, your eyes can't switch off from that pair of feet dangling until Paul, right beneath them, trying to steady you. Could I ask you to make an athletics and dexterity? It's more of a reflex. Reflex.
Oh, right, that's only 2 dice. Cool. Okay. That's 1 success.
1 success. Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to give you a choice. You can either push Victoria safely out of the way as you feel something suddenly falling towards you, or you can jump out of the way.
Am I a bastard?
In character.
I will push her out of the way.
Gallant. No, it doesn't necessarily help her her existing feeling of nausea. Unfortunately, what it does for you means you become the landing pad for a body that has just fallen from the rafters with a dreadful, loud crump, heavy to boot. You end up in a tangle of limbs, and as you open your eyes to see what's laying on you, you recognize the face, purple, tongue protruding, eyes bulging, flags of all nations around his neck. He looks like he's been beaten horribly by baseball bats, because he is, of Mr. Lee, your music teacher, who was supposed to scout this place out and then never turned up for the last day. Before you can react, Corey, as things are all kicking off across the amusement park now.
I think it's time for the love roller coaster.
Yes, the
Or the Jungle
Funkasaurus. Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
Funkasaurus.
Hmm.
I feel like the Jungle Boogie would be like a Jungle Cruise type of, like a little slow ride. But...
Oh, okay. All right. So you can't see Tats anymore, but Ernest is there, and you can see he's keeping a distance from you, but he keeps looking over to you. There's the occasional eye contact. You playing it cool? Oh, jerk of the head.
You got to go right to it. You gotta immediately just like you see your target, you advance.
Okay. In that case, you stride gainfully over to him.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Not bad. You?
Doing okay? Pitched a tent.
Already?
We'll see. Do you want to go on a ride or something?
I like that kind of enthusiasm.
Well, you know, I try. You wanna?
I hear you're a black belt.
Yeah, I hear you do judo.
I know a few moves.
Huh. Show me.
What would you do if I tossed you to the mat?
Say that to my face, punk. Huh?
I like where you're going with this. Shall we get aboard the Funky Town Express?
I thought you'd never ask. I'm not saying he's good at this. I'm sorry.
Apparently, Ernest isn't either. I think he's lowering himself to meet his audience. That's my excuse.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Unfortunately, Claire is familiar with how I play most characters at this point. This is how I play most characters, especially in flirtation scenes. Okay, so you get onto the train. Where no one else is, this is a kiddie ride, really. That's going to take you slowly through the tunnels of love. Unfortunately, James Brown, as I say, isn't playing. There's no I Feel Good. There's no Living in America. Right now, The Clash is screaming at you. But, I mean, you're also being told that you're going underground. And it's all... It builds up to a nice peak as you enter the darkness with Ernest. He does say, I lost sight of Tats. I'm guessing she wanted us two to be alone.
Yeah, I think she did, yeah. Well, I guess we're alone now.
I think we are. Listen, I'm not going to push you into doing anything you don't want to do.
And he's gonna what would you say, going underground? He's gonna go underground, so to speak.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no hesitation. No, he says, well, in that case, I'll
look up. I'm gonna use a quip, if you don't mind. I'm gonna he's gonna look up, lock eyes, and go, it's okay, I have a permit. You picked these quips. I'm sorry.
I did. I didn't know this is where things were going. Now, I think that was a successful use of a quip. Do bear in mind, if you want to use it a second time, it may be more difficult if your mouth is full. So,
this is true.
We are going to...
You have a hermit?
You have herpes? What?
And so our first love scene in our horror movie takes place as Corey and Ernest get down on it appropriately for Funkland.
Nice.
Heading into the tunnels. But we know, audience, what happens to lovers in these movies. Certainly nothing good.
Yep.
Yeah. You. Well, I was about to say you walked into that one.
I know. I'm really hoping. Later. I know exactly what I want to happen, but.
Well, I mean, if you want to die an hour and a half in, that can happen very quickly.
No. It's not that.
Okay.
Just the. I'll tell you later.
All right. So, a lot of things happened all at once. Chills, horror, pleasure, in 3 different scenes simultaneously. Now let's see the resolution of those scenes as screams and moans echo across the park in equal measure. First, we deal with Nagel. Nagel, I need you to make an athletics and dexterity roll.
Oh my. Okay.
I can tell you that we have passed the halfway point for this game.
Indeed, we have. Oh, you know what? That's actually not terrible.
You're used to running away from the
Yeah.
big kids.
I will say.
Remember, you can use a quip.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll go with. Don't call me that. I hate that. As I hear some terrible whisper on the way.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. You hear a whisper of. Let's think. A simple one. I'm going to kill you, you fucking nerd.
Don't call me that. I hate that.
It's nice and subtle.
Yeah.
This one.
That will be 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, that's more than I anticipated. In that case, you feel this cold grip wrapping around your neck and pulling you back, and then you hear a whisper in your ear that tells you that it's going to kill you. You feel yourself being pulled back into the electronic soundboard with all of its open wires, but you are able to slip free of its grasp. Iggy, you are looking the other way to see whether there's anyone coming to catch you. So you don't see or hear any of this except for Nagel shouting out, "Don't call me that, I hate that," and suddenly running in your direction.
What?
Someone trying to get me! Someone trying to get me!
I peer in. Are you sure?
There's no one there.
But maybe you're just not used to the emotion that this music brings out in people. It's powerful stuff.
He is like on the verge of hyperventilating, just like.
Yeah. But take one of these. I'll give him one of Roxy's drinks.
Okay.
Okay, with me. 3, 2, 1.
Hmm.
Yeah. One more drink and we'll go.
Oh God, it's poison! It's poison!
Could I ask both of you at this point to make close combat and might rolls?
Oh,
As you swig back your bottles, you both feel cold grips on the backs of your heads.
Well, so
0.
I'm going to use one of my trademarks.
Oh,
here.
okay.
It's all in the reflexes.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually pushes me all the way up to 7 dice.
Wow, okay.
I don't know if I'd be cheeky. I actually did just use a quip. I said one more drink and then we go.
All right. So yes, definitely, please.
2 10s. So that is 5 successes.
Wow. Okay. Let's see how Nagel does.
0.
0. Okay, that's fantastic. That's what we want. So, Iggy, you feel this sudden grip on the back of your head, like a very cold, extremely cold hand. You feel every finger, every nail drive into your scalp, but you're able to almost push it back. As you say, it's in the reflexes. You've been grabbed probably by your dad before when he's on a bender. And you know how to get out of a situation like this. With 5 successes, in fact, you get directorial control. So you tell me what you do, and because you've got directorial control, you can even tell me what you see if you want.
Okay. So something's grabbing at the back of my hair. It's a stubby little mohawk. Hats off my fucking mohawk. I'm used to this, as you said. This has happened before. I spin around and smash whatever it is that's grabbing me in the face with this beer bottle. Well, the hooch bottle, whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
It is something that looks, based on the description earlier, almost like a Jawa. It's short, stubby, wearing a cloak. And I'm aiming low, always go below the belt. I'm going to crack whatever the hell this little shitters in the face with the glass bottle.
There is a violent scream as you do so. You actually connect somehow with your bottle of hooch, and it's like it burns the fabric that makes up this creature as it starts to sizzle and smolder and roil and roll backwards away from you. You have no idea what this thing is, but you've dealt it a nasty blow. Unfortunately, Nagel can't boast the same. As Nagel, the force from the blow is sufficient to force you down to your knees with the bottle still in your mouth, and head goes driving down the neck of the bottle. I'm going to give you a choice here. If you want, this can be the first death of the game. If you want to die from excessive... well, to be honest, I wasn't expecting you to be the one who died with something lodged in their throat. But if you want that to happen, you can, or you can take it as injuries. It's up to you.
I think for the greasing the wheels of horror and whatnot, I think I will take the death.
Okay, well in that case, you describe it to me. How do you die?
So yeah, this like little like it's even more pathetic because it's this tiny little thing that just like jumped on my back, grabbed my head, and just the bottle in the mouth comes in and just it's an explosion of glass, one of which just like shoves right up into the roof of my mouth, and just there's a torrent of blood as I die of underage drinking.
Yeah, again, it's a public safety video. Kids, don't drink. This could happen to you. Iggy, this all happens in a blur of motion. By the time you've smashed your glass bottle over the head of this creature and it's roiling away into the shadows and you're turning back, you can see Nagel there. And then down to the ground.
The hooch! You all right? Nagel? Nudge him with my boots. Oh.
There's a final twitch.
Oh, shit. Fuck it. I run.
Okay, and in the funk house, we have Victoria and Paul, where things aren't much better. Paul, as mentioned, you see the dead, locked eyes of Mr. Lee, and it looks like he's been through the wars a bit.
Yeah. I will obviously force the corpse off me, skidding mostly a bit because there's mostly a pool of blood where the legs were hanging from. Catch myself and just lean, just slump down against the wall, just kind of shaking, bringing the spliff up to my mouth and go with a quip of, I've never seen one up close before. Jesus fucking Christ, that's Mr. Lee.
As you're saying this, you are backed up against a mirror. Remember, this is like a hall of mirrors. Victoria, in your intoxicated state, you can see the alarmed Paul smoking on his doobie, but you can also see something. You can see yourself in the reflection. You can also see Paul in the reflection, and it looks like the shape, the outfit of a clown, just striding towards you in the mirror. Striding towards your back, Victoria. But Paul, not that you've communicated it yet, you can't see this, even looking in Victoria's direction.
I mostly will lock. So
Paul can't see that this figure is in the reflection behind him, despite the fact logically it should be horror movie logic. Victoria, you see this figure.
Yes. And spin around. Because that's what you do.
You spin around and you see nothing there except for a statue just round the corner. You can just see part of it. You've recognized it on the way in, of James Brown in his famous purple jumpsuit and cravat. Like that.
Oh, no. Turn back again. Is it in the mirror?
Yes, and now right over your head with ribbons of multiple colors pulling from its sleeve.
you just stop being such a fucking clown? I can't deal with this right now. Do you see this? Is it usual? Is it a usual weed thing to see clowns running around?
No, they ain't fucking LSD. What the fuck are you talking about?
Victoria, you're suddenly losing your voice as if there's a great deal of pressure put on your larynx. You can still speak. I'm not cutting you off or anything, but you're suddenly out of breath.
I will grab Paul and have him turn around and look in the mirror behind him and see if he sees it. Try and show it to him.
You can see this James Brown clown figure wrapping these ribbons around Victoria's neck with a
let's with that then turns back, sees there's no one there clearly, and grab a hand and leg it and see what happens.
Better part of valor and all that. Okay, could I ask for both of you then, if you're both intending on running, make an athletics and dexterity roll, please.
Oh, that's not great.
Dexterity. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No successes.
9, 8, 8.
Can I apply anything from my quip about I've never seen one up close before with the dead body?
Yeah, you can have one extra die. You never know. It might be the decider. Otherwise, you've got 5 rewrites. Okay, you've got 5 rewrites. So Victoria, despite the fact this thing has looped around your throat, you are somehow able to outrun it. It has not been tied in a knot, and so you feel it going pulling off of you as you're pulling away. But Paul is less fortunate, maybe trips over Mr. Lee's body. So Chris, have a look at the cinematics if you like. There may be one that you can use.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest spend a rewrite on disposable character who is also somewhere in the funk house, who turns up as a distraction and will most probably get strangled to death as we leave.
Yeah, I think that, well, it's not even a most probably, will get strangled to death.
No!
As
a little to the left.
Okay, as you are trying to pull away and you trip over Mr. Lee and you feel the ribbon starts caress your neck, you're able to hear a voice from the entrance to the funk house, the way you came in. It's one of your classmates. We're going to say it is there's a girl by the name of Betty Service. Hey, Paul, is that pot I can smell? And then all of a sudden, and she's being yanked up into the ceiling. Are you taking this as your opportunity to flee?
Of course.
Good, heroic stuff. Typically, what we look for in a horror game is someone virtuous to deserve survival. I think with Nagel's death, we have now run out of virtuous character. Victoria could still constitute virtuous. She's only
very giving.
Yes, but he broke the no sex
Oh, that's
rule.
true. That's true.
Yeah. You find yourselves running deeper into the funk house. And as you do so, it is a hall of mirrors. It is like trying to run through a labyrinth. It's by sheer good fortune, up to you. If you want to find each other, it will cost you a rewrite if you want to basically find each other's hand and run out together. If you don't want to spend that rewrite, Paul and Victoria, you can try it alone.
It's up to you. What do you want to do, Paul?
Let's go with the rewrite, I think.
Okay, all right. So just you let out a scream, probably because you bump into each other. Is this the attacker? Is it not? No, it's both of you. And all you can hear now, over the sounds of the Sex Pistols, who have now emerged from the speakers, obviously famous for their funk sounds, is the probably choking sounds of poor old Betty.
Oh no, not Betty.
Yeah. Oh,
I knew her
Betty.
so well.
Yeah.
Me and her, we went way back to like last Tuesday.
I know. Well, I mean, you thought it was a silly thing for her to transfer in with only 2 weeks left of the semester. There we go.
Only 2 weeks from retirement.
Yeah. But now the both of you are together, you can try escaping this place together. In other words, only one of you has to navigate. You can make a survival and intellect if you want to try and get out. If you want to try hiding, you can go for larceny and cunning. So it's up to you. You choose between you who is best.
I've got 5 dice with survival and intellect.
I'm looking at 8 with larceny and cunning.
Wow.
So yeah, if you want to hide in the funk house, you can certainly roll for it.
Do you wanna hide or you wanna run?
Let's hide. We might witness the truth of what the killer is.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Like a 9.
You only
And a
get one.
7?
No, only a 9. Well, that's one success. One success. So that means it's quite possible that your pursuer may find you, but for now, at least, you are hidden behind some of these mirrors, many of which appear to be one way. So you are able to continue observing.
Wow.
Through the looking glass, as it were.
Oh no.
Mm.
Oh, I've got something planned. Idea. Don't worry. Anyway.
All right. Well, now we'll get to the love boat or love train as Corey and Ernest emerge from the tunnel, and I'm speechless.
Sorry, I guess I've earned my black belt. Oh, by the way, here's yours, and I'll hand his belt back.
Well, Tat said you were some kind of virgin, but you're acting like a seasoned pro. I've got some people you could meet.
What?
Other lads who
Oh.
like to have a good time.
Oh yeah.
Not a pro like that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
That was
no,
kind of
no.
I mean, I want to get out of this town, but like,
No.
Sorry. Yeah, totally. Let's. Yeah.
I think we could be good friends.
I think so too.
Maybe more. I mean, if you want to go round again, I can return the favor, or we can go try and find Tats, because I'm wondering where she is.
You want to get Tats involved?
No, not like that. I mean, give her the good news. We're getting on all right. Yeah. We've got a lot of shared interests, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Let's go look for her. And then we can always come back and ride later. I mean, we've got all night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind taking a slow ride all the way around. We'll maybe finish off on the Devastator. We'll have to see.
I didn't know Tats told you what it was called. Sorry. Yeah, let's go look for her.
All right. You both climb off the Funk train, the Funk Express. It keeps changing its name. And
it's the copyright issues, really. They just
yeah. And you're looking around, calling out for her, and you reach the Tatiana. Where are you? I'm here with Corey, isn't it?
It's Corey. Yeah, it's Corey.
Yeah.
Remember my name, please.
Didn't really have much of a chance to ask. Yeah.
Well, now I just feel like no.
You reach the Funkadelic Helter Bow Bow Skelter. That's its full name.
Yeah, the bound pound's written out and everything.
Bow Bow, yeah. Tatiana, where are you? And then you hear a thud, 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 roll, thud, 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 roll, thud, 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 as Tatiana's head rolls down the Helter Skelter and lands squarely between your feet.
The sound of a bowling alley going on.
Whoa! My God! Don't always turn into. Yeah, he's turned into
Kills. Whoa!
Boy, my God, Bobby.
That boy ain't right. That's our cultural export, really, from the U.S. Like that's.
I'll tell you something, Corey. This hand will rolling down this whole skill like this, and yes, it ends up ends up between your feet, and you are both screaming and holding each other, looking down and screaming and looking up at the Helter Skelter. And you look up to the top of the Helter Skelter, and there is a small figure up there in a hoodie, or well, a jacket, a mac with a hood, illuminated behind the rainfall and the lightning.
Okay.
Is that a kid? Is that a kid up there?
Kid, you gotta get down from there. You're gonna get hurt.
No, it might be the kid that did it.
A kid wouldn't do something like it's a kid. Kid.
Listen, we need to get out of here right now. I don't know what's going on, but that's Tatiana's head. Listen, I've only just met you. You're cool, but I'm not risking my life.
Yeah. Is there anybody else around here? Or is it just pretty much like isolated head drop and?
Well, yeah, you're in the kids part of the amusement park.
Yeah, we got to go get somebody. We got to get a medic, or no, well, I mean, or a something.
A teacher. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's run like hell.
Okay, you make a run for it. Go for an athletics and dexterity roll, please.
All right.
I mean, this is kind of where you excel. If you could drop kick your way across the amusement park like Liu Kang.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, okay, I'm actually brand new dice for this, so let's see how this goes.
I'm sure that'll help.
Actually, I got two, so that's pretty good. Two
All
successes.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna make a roll as well because it's only fair, isn't it? So let's see. Oh, unfortunately, your partner, your new boyfriend, or at least good friend, he trips. He falls. Ah! He says.
What are you? Are you okay?
It must be because his trousers are falling down. He didn't have enough time to sew his belt up.
We've all been there.
Okay. Seriously?
Don't go without me.
I'm not gonna go without you, you idiot. I'm gonna pick him up.
Throw him over your shoulder.
Yeah, his pants will fall down. He'll have his naked butt show into the camera. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he was hired. It was for that cushy peach.
It's a teen horror movie, of course. Okay, yeah, you throw him over your shoulder. Firemen's carry him, and off you go, running toward help. Hopefully, who you bump into is Iggy.
Iggy, I need your help. Naked butt.
we don't have time for that right now.
Iggy. No, Tatiana's head. They're just it's just look, I got something that'll blow your mind. Tatiana's head is just it's over, like, come over here for Tatiana's head.
Let me down.
Oh, sorry.
And he pulls his pants up.
Look, we got naked art here. I don't need Tatiana to give you head or whatever.
No, it's
what happened to...
No, what?
What the hell happened to Nagel?
Yeah, Nagel.
Did you do that?
Holy shit.
No, I didn't do that.
I always knew you were a rough kid.
Oh, fuck off.
Did you kill Tatiana?
No. I was over there with Nagel. We were putting some good tunes on, and these little Jawa motherfuckers came out of nowhere.
Like kids in hoods?
Yeah, I don't know. They were.
The fuck's a Jawa?
I can't get into that.
Listen,
were quite small.
Corey, I'm not hanging with Iggy. You know what he's like. You've heard the stories. His family lives out of a trailer, for God's sake.
You got a problem with that?
Well, kinda, if you're going around killing Nagel and Tatiana.
All right, it's going to be like that, isn't it? Okay, tell you what, you go out there on your own. I'm going to stick around here. Any of those Jawa motherfuckers coming, they're going to get this instrument of pain right in their faces.
Okay. No, we got to stick together. Stuff is going on. People are dying, okay? We don't have time to fight amongst ourselves, okay? Like, you're too much of a slacker to be a killer, Iggy.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
It was midway, but yeah.
But,
listen, Corey, I'm going to stick with you, but I don't trust this guy.
Okay.
fine, no one else does trust me. I'm used to it.
So, sad story, as always. Always excuses with you.
But
so, like a little kid did this.
Okay. Let's clear the air, shall we, Iggy? Corey, Iggy used to be my boyfriend.
Oh,
That's why he recognized my ass.
Is this going to be?
I never forget an ass.
Is this going to be awkward now? Because
well, I don't know. It depends on if Iggy's going to make it awkward. I'm willing to look past things we said and done.
Hey, look, it's water under the bridge, and you know, Mike.
It was under the bridge. That was the problem. What happened under the bridge?
Hey, in under the bridge. So let's go for a swim.
If you want to try and take charge of this situation, Iggy, you can make a command and presence roll and use that quip to add a die.
Ooh, I have a decent presence.
Do it.
One success.
One success. Okay, it's enough to calm Ernest down.
Come on, Ernest. We were good together, but you've moved on. I've moved on. It's all about angry ponies for me right now. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're not going to argue about the band again.
You're dating a pony? Okay, we need to get out of here. We need to just go.
Okay, let's get to the exit. Maybe we'll just get on the bus and get the hell out of here.
No, these are still here. There's other people still here.
Well, they're not our problem. Okay, all right. So you're the leader. You're the leader, Iggy. What are you saying we do?
I'm saying all these kids, they're in our band now. We're all angry ponies. And it's time for these ponies to kick back.
With my judo.
His
Karate.
Yeah.
Which is superior to judo. Sorry, it's true.
Yeah. And my 5 strings, one of which is, well, 2 of which are E's.
Yes. Okay, all right. That sounds like a plan. It doesn't. It doesn't sound like a plan at all. So what is Iggy going to propose you do other than just, yeah, we're tough?
Let's head to the funk house. Look, looks like a good place. You can see everyone coming from miles away. If
it's central, yeah. Okay, and maybe if we get up onto the roof, we can start going, hey, over here. But first thing we need to do is turn this fucking music off because no one's going to hear us with whoever these assholes are.
Is there a PA?
That's the sound booth.
So if we get, is the sound booth at the funk house?
No, the sound booth is there.
No,
yeah, okay, let's go to the sound booth.
I've been in the dark for about a half hour now, so sorry.
You got something on your jumper as well.
Anyway,
you know what? I'm gonna spend a rewrite for it's just ketchup. It's just ketchup.
Ernest, what are you doing?
It's just some mayo from a sandwich earlier. Okay.
Okay. All right. That is the very creative use of the only ketchup cinematic. Typically used for death scenes to avoid them, but yeah, we'll use them for. We'll use it for other bodily fluids.
I think we're beyond the death scene touch now.
So Corey, what do you think? Do you want to hit the sound booth, try and get an announcement to everyone, or should we?
Can you do that? Like, you know, music and like tech stuff, right?
Yeah, I know shit about that.
It's not like we can ask Nagel.
Nagel? Scott, you need a bottle in there.
Like, you know, you want me to play 2 chords? I'm your man.
Yeah, unless you know like Morse code. Maybe you're right. Funkhouse.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're all running to the funk house now. Meanwhile, in the funk house, Victoria and Paul cowering behind the mirrors, and you're trying.
Can we declare a diegetic music cue?
Yes.
So can we have Duran Duran Hungry Like the Wolf playing over very quietly in the headphones as the killer mostly makes their dramatic entrance?
Yeah, I'm going to need to remember what I would consider a diegetic music cue from Hungry Like the Wolf. Hungry like the wolf.
You're lost in the crowd. I'm on the hunt. I'm after you.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, let me get the lyrics up.
My mouth is alive with juices like wine.
That was the last scene.
That was. Oh yeah. Oh god, damn. That was good. That was good.
It's a refrain. It's come back.
I'm on the hunt. I'm after you. Yeah, there is a do bit, isn't there? So.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, you can spend the last 2 rewrites until people start rolling failures on giving the clown, James Clown, a diegetic music cue so you know when he's close. And it's Duran Duran, bizarrely, considering it's James Brown in a clown outfit. It's nevertheless.
Oh, get down! Hungry like a wolf.
All right then. So currently you are cowering behind the mirrors. You've purchased your diegetic music cue, and sure enough, there is you can hear, or the audience can, the increasing volume of strut on a line, it's discord and rhyme, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. And why anyone thought this would be a good move for a horror movie, who knows, but there's been a lot of questionable choices so far. The 2 of you are then able to see the figure, again, only in the mirrors. You're able to see this bulky James Brown, you think, in fact, because you've got the time to study him, a James Brown impersonator. It's not James Brown himself, you'll be thankful to know. I mean, that would be scary. It's a James Brown impersonator in a silken outfit that looks like a clown outfit, based on the fact you're in a fun house, there's lots of shining lights. And this figure has a vacant expression about his face, utterly blank stare, mouth hanging open, keeps playing with these flags and streamers and ribbons, you know, doing sort of cat's cradle things with his hands, and then slumps off further out into the funk house. You could now, if you want, double back and head out the entrance, or you could wait longer.
I'm going to quip first and just whisper very quietly when, obviously, James Clown looks into a mirror and in essence locks eyes with us but can't because we're behind the mirror, and I just whisper, the devil's eyes.
Now that means you get 2 additional dice next time you use it for a roll.
Yep. Yeah, what do we and then I'll be like kind of, scared, standing still, just watching as it lurks away. So it's up to Victoria what we do, I guess.
Yeah, Victoria is the sneaky one.
I think it's time to go. It's always time to go. We leave.
All right then. Okay, could I ask from Victoria to make, on behalf of both of you, I think we'll go for another larceny and dexterity roll.
Okay. Come on, it'll be fun. We'll go. One, two, 6s aren't successes, are they?
No, it's 8s and above.
2.
Okay. You are sneaking cautiously, trying to stay behind the mirrors and statues as much as possible, so that if this thing is looking out for you, it hopefully won't see you. As you're getting closer to the entrance, and you can sadly see your good friend of just a couple of weeks, Betty, I think her name was, hanging from the rafters next to where Mr. Lee was until recently hung. You're able to start hearing let's
go faster.
Oh God, it's Simon Lamont. All right then. Well, you got 2 successes. So if it was only 1, I would say that he catches sight of you before you exit. But on 2 successes, you do have enough speed or enough distance between you that you're able to burst free from the funk house just as our 3 gentlemen arrive. Practically running into it. Ah!
I shout out. Paul shouts out as he sees him. Funk soul brother.
Check it out now.
There's
That's
something.
an ad lib by the actor. By the way.
What are we doing? Are we going up onto that roof?
No, don't go in there.
Why? What's going on?
Woman,
Just
you
give it a
want
minute.
me, give me a sign and get me breathing even closer behind. Do, 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 do.
Fucking hate
Go
Dracula.
now. Out.
No, the killer's
Go.
back there. They
No,
killed
he's
Nagel.
in here. What? There's
It's
a
more
killer
than
fucking
one.
Clown.
Oh, ours
Clown?
was a clown.
No, like a gnome.
No.
Clown.
And
Clown.
then all of you see him in the doorway, holding what can only be described as a multicolored garrote. James Brown, the clown, the impersonator, staring at all of you blankly. His mouth opens more widely, throws on the floor a book, and then tightens this garrote in his hand before he starts marching towards you, as slashers can only do. Not a real speed to catch up, but in this kind of feature, almost definitely.
Sex machine.
What's the book?
As you shout "sex machine" at him, he does actually go "wow," and his jaw moves.
I'll distract him. Grab that book.
You grab the book. It's just a guy.
I'm going to use one of my trademarks, which is eyes on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to sing some James Brown. Not me personally, but he will. He's got a dot in humanities, so he's lyrically well versed in these sorts of things. He might not like it, but he knows it. So yeah, I'm going to try and distract him while someone else grabs this book.
Very heroic.
Stupid, I think is the word you're looking for.
Briefing.
So can I make a presence humanities presence check?
Absolutely.
And I'll add my 2 dice to my trademark. a 10 and 2 9s. So that's
Oh.
4 successes.
That is a stupendous number of successes, especially with your 10. And in fact, you've got trademark. Again, directorial control. You tell me, how does James Clown respond to you?
So I start singing like a sex machine, and he wants to bring it down. He says, "We've got to break it down one more time for the refrain," or whatever it is. I start leading a bit towards the side, and he follows, meaning he then bashes himself into one of the bits of see-through glass, kind of getting himself slightly stuck in this funhouse as he's tried to follow me and match my very jaunty rhythm.
Okay, that is bizarre, but I'll take it. You basically dance him away, you lure him away, and as you do so and you're singing, you essentially start with the "get up," and he'll respond with a "get on up," and it responds, "Get up, get on up, stay on the scene, get on up like a sex machine, get on up," and the two of you are duetting, and somehow this is luring this bizarre slasher away from the rest of the group, and yeah, you're able to send him tumbling through one of these mirrors. As you do so, as you say, you described it very well, and he then melts into shadow as he connects with the mirror, and you've just as you get onto the he's gone. But while the rest of the four of you have basically allowed Iggy to lure away your potential killer, what are you doing? You just making a run for it now?
Got to grab that book. And clearly throne, so important, must have.
Yeah.
Need it.
Can't go on, must go on. You grab the book and you're running. No rolls needed this time. As you sprint with all of your might. Where? Are you going deeper into the park? Are you heading for the exits? Are you looking for somewhere to hide? If the group is, well, essentially it's the three of you plus Ernest, but out of character you can decide at this point.
Where's the nearest phone?
The nearest phone? Good question.
Phone.
Yeah, it's the 80s, so...
Probably in an office.
Yeah.
You think you saw one in the funk house, but you don't really want to go back in there.
What about the bus?
The bus should still be there. But is supposed to be staying over the weekend as well.
Where do you all want to go?
This is a crazy idea, but it just might work.
Let's do it.
Lure him onto the Demolisher ride or whatever it's called.
The Devastator.
The Devastator.
We share a title. I wouldn't forget.
Sorry, it blew my mind, and I just couldn't remember.
If the chat is to be had, it might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alert to the Devastator.
You think that's a good idea?
Well,
that's an appalling idea, but
yes. Is everyone on board with this, or does anyone want to break off and make their way to the bus?
No, this sounds like a fantastic idea. I can't see what could possibly go wrong.
No, indeed.
It's the worst idea we're going to do, yeah.
Okay, in that case, all of you, as Iggy exits the funk house, start your way toward the Devastator. It's easy enough to see where it is. It's bright, it's colorful, it penetrates the sky, 15 stories high, and less of that. And promises angles and plunges, the likes of which you've never experienced before. And so you...
Also, the roller coaster's over there.
Yes, and you run with all of your might in that direction. Sure enough, James Brown picks up your scent and is marching stolidly after you, arms swinging, dragging behind him a long, long trail of these colorful flags and ribbons until you get to the Devastator. Almost serendipitously, the carriages come to a stop in front of you. It's running on autopilot. It will stop here for all but a minute before it starts off on its journey again. How are you going to ensure that the beast, this creature, gets on?
I looked at the rest of them because I clearly didn't think this through.
What if, right? We all get onto the very last car, yeah.
Yeah,
and then like he'll get on the first one, maybe.
possibly.
And then, like, we all jump off before it's up and gone, as the last car goes past.
I like your thinking. That's as good a answer as anyone could have come up with, I think.
Yeah, I'm just finishing some of the hooch right now.
All right, then. In that case, as you're clambering on and Iggy is finishing the hooch, Iggy, could I ask for you to make, this is another essentially reflexes roll. I'm going to ask from you for, we'll go for athletics and dexterity again. It's the roll of the day.
Okay, well, one more drink and then we'll go.
Okay. This is playing into your hands.
Yeah, I planned that quite carefully. So dexterity and athletics and equip, which I've used twice. So
yeah, 2 dice.
Okay, wish me
The
luck.
odds are in your favor.
Not very much, but I did get 1.
1 means that by the time you get lost in the reverie of your drink, and so you haven't finished by the time James Brown is there and slapping the bottle out of your hand and your mouth. You get a nasty cut across the face as he screams at you, "Get up! Get on up!"
You can get down, and I'm going to smash him with my guitar, which is an instrument of pain, which is one of my tropes. It's actually conveniently named.
Yes.
Okay. No one ruins my drink. So, yeah, I'm going for it.
All right, I'm just going to have a quick look at the effect of said trope. It shouldn't take me much more than...
It's under jock.
Yes.
Because you can take 1.
Yes, indeed.
Which one is it?
Instrument of pain.
Yes, you have a specific beloved sporting good, well, in this case, a guitar. Name this sporting good. It possesses the deadly tag, regardless of its normal quality or capability of doing this kind of harm. So could I ask from you, Chris, to make a close combat and mights roll while your companions huddle together in the final carriage of this roller coaster, which is just about to set off?
Okay. Okay, here we go. 2
with the deadly tag with it. I think that's enough to essentially stagger him. So we can actually say that bashes him into the roller coaster just as it starts to move. He lands inelegantly in that front carriage just as it starts going chunk, 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 chunk. Iggy, you're not on the coaster. The others of you are. The plan didn't go exactly as intended, but nevertheless, he's where you want him to be. That means you've got to take the opportunity to escape if you can. I'm going to require rolls from you here. We're going to be going, yes, daring leap indeed, Claire. Athletics and dexterity again, please. I will allow you to use all of you who are on the roller coaster. So yes, you can use athletics plus might if you would prefer.
No, but I've got my +2 from that earlier quip.
Yes, so do use it.
And just before it sets off, I want to generate a quip if something goes wrong and I have to roll again, which is I look up at the height of the roller coaster and I go, I've never seen one so big before like this. Well,
what?
Up close. It's like,
where were you with Corey's scene earlier?
I would like to point out that, come on, this will be fun.
I get 2 successes to jump off.
Puts me on 2 now, I think. So
5.
Yeah. So 5 successes from Corey.
5 successes. I love these dice.
1.
1 success. Okay.
1 success.
And how about from Paul?
You got 2.
Two. Well, on my personal dice rolling channel, which Claire and Chris Jones can see, they will see that unfortunately Ernest didn't do so well. I mean, he still has a success, but he's going to use it heroically. I'm going to have a heroic NPC here, because as Claire's character, Victoria, is trying to leap forth and only gets one success, your foot is caught in the handrail, in the guardrail. But heroically, Ernest grabs your foot, your eyes lock. You realize this might be love. No, probably not. And he gives you one last push as the roller coaster takes off with Ernest on board.
Take a few stumbling steps on the platform, be like, bye.
Ori, how are you feeling?
Did he do? He's.
You see the roller coaster going up the mountain.
You better survive!
It's all right. I know he can hold his breath for at least 2 minutes.
I'm gonna grab you by the shoulder. I'm counting on it.
Oh
God.
All right then. Well, you've got no rewrites to spend in his favor at this point, so it's very much you're able to spectate some of this as it goes on, as James Brown is clambering back along the carriages as the roller coaster is ascending the mountain, and Ernest is looking around. There's nowhere to which he can retreat. He can't get off this roller coaster as it's going 15 stories high until they are just a speck up there, but you can see the glimmering outfit of James Clown. And then, just as James is about to grab him, whoosh, the steep drop. James Brown is hanging on to the handrail. Ernest is trying to back up, helped by the G's that are keeping him in place, but then vroom, round one of the 90-degree angles and snap, and then vroom, round another one of the angles, and you can only just see some of this in blurred, fast motion. Are you going to stand there and watch this all the way through to where the train gets back to you, or are you going to take this as an opportunity to flee?
I'm gonna wait, personally. Because if he makes it out the other side, he's going to need help if that clown's still here.
Okay, this thing goes underwater, right?
Yes.
I'm saying this to the group as well. I don't think James Brown can breathe underwater. So at the moment, he's up, but he's going to get on down underwater. Like, could you stop it?
Okay, we need to. Okay, we probably could if Nagel were here, he'd know how to shut this off.
Yeah, you can see buttons, a lever.
Shit. All right. Okay, how do we do this? Where's the goddamn key? I don't know. It's a quip. I don't know how to.
Yeah, it's a good use of a quip. It's a good use of a quip.
You mean this? I have a trope.
Oh.
Yes, you do have a trope that allows you to find a vital item at an appropriate time, I believe. So yes, you find a car key. I might do the job. Yes, you find a key. There's a key.
I stole them from Bert earlier.
Yes. So all right, he's passed them to you, Corey. Are you going to lock the train in place underwater, knowing that it might spell doom for your paramour, but knowing that if you don't, you may be faced with a drenched James Brown?
What do we? Yeah. Look at everybody else.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hold your breath. Shout that out.
We've got to time it. Paul's gonna be like, we've got to get this really precise, because if we miss the moment, that thing's really fast. Like, we need to get it underwater at the deepest point.
Okay, I'm not good at math. Are you?
What's math?
I think I can do it.
I mean, I've heard that the English are very punctual. Here.
And I will use my trope of just in time.
Oh,
I was right.
Hey!
All right then. I'm not going to make you roll then, Chris. I think that's a perfect use of the trope. As you see, James Brown, once again, as the train levels out and starts going down toward what's called Neptune's Bounty, the roller coaster disappears into the water, plunges down. You know where, or you can guess how far this track goes if it spends 2 minutes submerged. And at the deepest possible point, you twist that key, press that button, and
choke on this motherfucker.
Has anyone got a cigarette?
No, I don't. Thanks. But
Realize that it's a spliff.
there was right the whole time.
This is even better.
There's nothing but silence. It's ominous. In fact, silence to the extent that even the punk music has ceased. We're left with silence, just a gentle humming in the background of Duran Duran's Hungry Like the Wolf, apparently, to imply that James Brown is still alive. It's the strangest connection I have ever seen in one of these games, but that's our diegetic music cue, apparently. His heart beats to the tune. But the music, the Duran Duran, never gets any louder than background noise. And then it fades out. You're all stood here by the roller coaster. As you are, you hear behind you a child's voice. Onto the tracks. And you see these 4 little figures in their coats, one seemingly smouldering still, presumably from where you smashed the hooch into it. They are holding an array of weapons. There's a knife, a hammer, some flex. Onto the track, comes a voice. Join us. Join us for forever in Funkland.
Oh, hell no.
No, I couldn't possibly. I have places to be. I've got colleges to apply for, and I could anything. I've got socks to organize. It's so important. No,
Right, yeah.
thank you.
You know what? Funk this. This is just like Game of Death. He's like, Corey's gonna strip down to just the pants and tie the black belt around his head. Say that to my face, you clownlet. And I do have the quip say that to my face. So.
Yes. Now the other 3 could take this as the opportunity to flee if you're going to hold off the children.
I will. Who was holding that book? Does Corey have that book?
Victoria has the book.
Right. Can I quickly just glance at it, as in, like, if the cover of it?
Yeah. It looks like a diary from a few years ago. It's dated to a few years back.
Yeah.
There is a clasp on it, but it would be easy enough to break if you had the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to ask. I'm going to go down the line. Paul, are you sticking around to watch the karate show?
No.
Okay. Are you
too American?
Are you running for the exit?
Of course.
Okay. I will ask as well. Iggy.
I think Iggy is drunk enough at this point that he's just going hell for leather. These people, Jawas, kids, I don't know, whatever they are. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it to them.
Oh, you're helping out with the guitar with your deadly tags on it. And how about Victoria? You running with the book and Paul?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right then. So we will deal with our runners first. You peel off the children. Are they going to pursue you? That depends on how well or how fast you run. If you look back, for instance, let's go for some athletics and dex rolls again. I've honestly never used this skill and attribute so often, and they came from.
That is 4 successes.
Two.
Okay, that's enough.
Two successes.
Yeah, the both of you are able to make speed. You just glance back, you see your two companions, Iggy with the guitar held aloft, Corey dressed as if for an extra part in a Bruce Lee movie, standing there like real heroes as you make your way to the, I was about to say to the coach, but no, you make your way to the bus. You make your way to the bus. The door is open. You climbing on?
Yes. Is Bert there?
Bert is there, not moving.
Oh shit! Of course.
He hasn't acknowledged your presence. Could be asleep.
Okay. Bert! Give him a shove.
Oh no, that's always always
Bert.
The death knell of an NPC. If you give someone not moving a shove, their head is bound to roll off their shoulders, and so that is exactly what happens. In fact, we'll add to that his arms fall off too. But the bus driver falls into pieces. Oh, it looks like calamity. How are you going to escape? None of you know how to drive a bus. But
It
then,
can't be that hard.
Victoria, you see headlights approaching from up the road. This bus may not be your only way out. You going to stay on board, or are you going to head toward the car?
Well, I'd really rather not be near the body, so yeah, let's head for the car.
Okay, Paul, you're doing likewise?
Yeah, we'll head quickly but cautiously.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask for Corey and Iggy at this point. Could both of you make close combat and might rolls?
So how do trademarks affect the system?
Basically, trademarks are a bit like quips, except you don't have to declare them. They are specialities, like in World of Darkness, Chronicles of Darkness. You get 2 additional dice, and if you get several successes when you use a trademark, you take directorial control. You can basically say how the scene resolves.
Nice. Okay, I would like to use the trademark Bruce Lee as a god to channel his divine might.
Okay.
All right, I have 3 successes.
3 successes, and how about Iggy? 1 success. Oh, okay. Well, the thing where Iggy really excels is, of course, your guitar is somehow a deadly weapon. So even with 1 success, it's still pretty effective against a dwarf or whatever this creature is, as you smash the guitar into it. But Corey, you are channeling the master. You are channeling the way of the dragon. You are the fist of death, as Ernest may one day find out. So, tell us. Tell us with your directorial control.
Oh, I think it's gonna be like the little bit of budget this movie has had is gonna be involved in like some crane shots of like swirling clown children getting like what the. I mean, and he's gonna have to do one of the Liu Kang scissor kicks because you brought it up earlier. The bicycle kicks.
Yes, the bicycle kick.
Because I have actually been playing Mortal Kombat this week, which is ridiculous timing.
I didn't anticipate this game having much to do with Mortal Kombat, but I'm glad it. I'm glad it did. Yeah, or Duran Duran. I mean, I was clearly setting myself up for that.
I mean, same thing, really.
Yeah, and in that case, I mean, you are able to take one of these children out in good measure with 3 successes. You pummel them until they are just rags on the ground. And then you're able to land exactly in an heroic stance with a come on, bring it next one. However, Iggy is not so fortunate. You only got 1 success. So while you're able to wail on one with your razor-edged guitar, the other is able to shiv you repeatedly in the back. They're jumping on you. And stab, 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 choke, choke, choke. It's not good for Iggy, who loses 1 level of health.
This is all to a punk music soundtrack, of course, this entire combat scene, because there's still punk music playing over the PA.
Yeah, it must have started again for the soundtrack, so it's probably a license-free punk music at this point. I think the budget got blown on the crane shot.
Fascist punks, go away.
So we can go for another attacking roll, please, for both of you.
Okay.
And if you fail or only get 1 success on this one, something is going to happen.
Oh, damn. So 10s are worth 2?
Yes.
7.
Well, that's impressive. Does it show up, Iggy? 0, is that?
I got 1 success.
Oh, it's another 1 success.
Oh.
He's had a good run, 21 years. Most more than the rest of them. More than Nagel got.
It's true.
Unfortunately, Iggy, while you are able to swing your guitar valiantly and cut through another one of these creatures, what you're able to see and what stuns you with your single success, you're not able to overcome this special rule attached to these creatures, is as you strike the hood back, you see the tormented, twisted face of one of the children that died here, one of the children killed by the Devastator. And even through your hardened shell, your iron will, your jaded soul, it still strikes fear into you, fear enough to make you drop your guitar. It disarms you. And yes, you're able to swipe one as you lose it. But taking on a stunned condition at a time where you're being stabbed repeatedly is by no means a good thing. Narratively, however, it's excellent. Because while Corey is completely pummeling another one to death, as Corey is about to hopefully, or Kelly's about to hopefully describe, Iggy is being brought down by a horde of miniature assassins, specters tormented by their death here, wanting you to join them and play with them forever.
Wait, like in a band?
Yeah. I mean, it's funk. You'd have to play bass.
Well, you can't play anything at the moment, so it's a step up.
No, I think that is a good place for Iggy to actually expire.
Punk never dies, but I do.
That's a good death scene. That's a good final line. And that means we have Corey, who is valiantly fighting on with 7 successes.
7 successes. I got a bunch of 10s.
In that case, as Iggy falls, you can basically declare exactly how this concludes with you and these kids.
I think he's just to not waste a ton of time being gratuitous. He's going to just kick the hell out of all of them except the last one, who's going to kind of almost have the jump on him, be like, and be crouched, coming up behind him. He's going to get him. He's going to get Corey right in the kidney. And Corey just snaps, kick back, and the kid's head just flies off, revealing that right behind him is the "you must be this tall to ride," and now he is not this tall anymore.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh shit, Iggy.
I will give you a rewrite if you hold Iggy and say no.
Tell my mother that I don't like her.
She knows. She knows, Iggy. You can say it to her yourself.
He's gone.
He is, but Corey, it isn't all barbed wire and shit. It's also cake and roses, because as you lower Iggy to the floor, you hear coughing and footsteps, someone falling to the ground, and you can't help but look over your shoulder. There he is. It's your man. It's Ernest. He can hold his breath for 2 minutes. But then clambering behind him, dun, dun, squelch, squelch. Stay on the seat! Get on up like a sex machine!
Hey. Say that to my face, punk! You and me, one-on-one!
And meanwhile, outside the amusement park, running towards the headlights, Victoria,
Yes.
you recognize the car as it pulls up at the campsite. The window wides down. It's Terry.
Oh my god.
And he leans up. Hey, kid, are you okay? You look like you're scared to death.
Nearly. Just run up to him, give him the biggest hug ever, and just cry on him for like a good 20 seconds at least.
Oh, the emotional connection, the heart of the movie now. As Terry and Victoria finally connect. Finally, there may be a hope of her calling him Pop. Maybe one day. I mean, this is obviously a traumatic moment that shouldn't be seen as indicative of their future relationship, but nevertheless, he is a safe pair of hands in an uncertain world. And so, Victoria, as you hug your stepfather, Paul, you're a bit like a, spare dick.
Yeah. I'll crack open that diary and just start just quickly looking through.
Well, at this point, as we get to the close of our scenario, where I'm suggesting that the resolution between James Brown, Corey, and Ernest is left mysterious, maybe for a sequel.
I think so.
And Victoria is embracing her stepfather, who just came along to say, "You forgot your pajamas, kid." We have Paul walking away from the amusement park, leafing through this diary. And I'm going to give you a choice here, Chris. Mm-hmm. You've ran many a game before. You've ran many a horror game and set up many a horror scenario. I have a thought in my mind as to whose diary this might be, or what it may be accounting. If you want to take directorial control here to narrate the epilogue, no matter how badly that may go, bear in mind this is a cheap horror movie, you can. If you want to put it in my hands, you can do that instead. What would you like?
Whose diary is it?
You can pick anyone. Anyone you've encountered being behind this.
Adrian Mole.
Yeah. It isn't Terry's diary by any chance, is it?
Oh no!
Oh god, he set this all up to have an emotional connection with his stepdaughter.
Yes. No one actually died. We were just all paid like a 20 under the table.
Got a 20?
I think that, Chris, works perfectly. And so, yes, you are leafing through the diary, and you're seeing the maddened, twisted, sadistic ramblings of Terry, alternating between I've got to kill these kids and I've got to connect with my stepdaughter. She's never going to accept me. And
Problem with being a killer with a kid. You got
Mhm.
priorities.
and in it, he confesses, he says, I've secreted the body of her father, so now I'm in with the mother, but she still doesn't trust me. And this goes back to 3 years ago. I'm going to have to set up an accident, he says. I'm going to set up an accident at Funkland, that's nearby. And you're reading through it. It's the most long, convoluted plot to result in, I want a hug with my stepdaughter. 3 years long, 2 classes worth of pupils dead. But as you get to the edge, you get to the road where the street lights are no longer on. You're between Swampland Amusement Park and Youngville. You're at a crossroads. You could walk far, far away from here, or you could turn back where Victoria is in the unknowing arms, or the arms unknowingly, of a killer.
Dun, dun, dun.
What does Paul do? Does he turn around? Does he move on? Does he throw himself in the swamp?
This is the closest he's had to making a friend, so he will turn around.
And you walk back toward the amusement park, and that is where we will fade to black. And credits will roll up the screen for our game, our movie, known as, for some reason, Funk House of Horror, Nowhere to Run.
Oh, this was great.
Your star players have been Scott as the prematurely dead Nagel, dead by bottle to the throat.
Don't drink, kids.
Chris as transfer student Paul Merchant, always hot on the doobie, and perhaps our savior at the end. Chris also, or Chris Jones if you prefer. Iggy Westwood, the wild child with something of a heart of gold. At the very least, he went down fighting for his companions.
Angry ponies.
Kelly as Corey Adams, a young man who experienced an awakening in more than one way and fought for love. And Just Claire as Victoria Hardley, a girl who didn't know that what she really needed was to get the hell away from this stepfather. I mean, I think her instincts were right all the way up to this point. And me, directing proceedings, Matthew Dawkins. Thank you so much, everyone who watched, and thank you so much. I saw a couple of people, I think, in the chat saying that during the course of play or during the panel that we had just before this, that you actually bought copies of They Came from Camp Murder Lake. So I really appreciate people doing that. Camp Murder Lake is, and I know you shouldn't have a favorite child, but it is, I prefer it to my actual son. No, it's my favorite of the They Came Froms. I've always loved 1980s slasher movies and the humor that comes through it. It's a bit sexy, it's a bit silly. It's incredibly well written. So all credit to all of the writers on that book as well. But do check it out. It's on Drive Thru RPG. Thank you so much, everyone, for playing. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And I think with that, we can probably go away. So bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.